Hey y'all, IrixGuy here. Now if you're watching this at approximately 7:23 p.m. New York City time, then this is a live show. So you can type a comment and I can see it in real time obviously if you're watching this live, and we can chat about it. But today is actually a special edition of Epic Drone Show because you may or may not be aware, but on January the 23rd, DJI is hosting a launch event, and it's entitled Adventure Unfolds. So what I want to talk about during this live show, what are your thoughts? I mean, obviously it would seem that DJI owes us a brand new DJI Phantom, the Phantom 5, and it also seems that they would owe us a Mavic Pro 2, because as we discussed during the last live show, the last Phantom was the Phantom 4 Pro, and that was in November of 2016. That's right. So we haven't seen a new Phantom, and we haven't seen a new Mavic Pro since 2016. Ron says, hello, tech for your needs. Hello there. Bhindo15, what's up, IrixGuy? So glad I made it today. Was not aware. So happy to hear that news from you. And then we got George, what's up? That's a lot of people tuning in live, and I appreciate that. Not just that you tuned in live, but we're all communicating here. So, this was news to me. I got the invitation, and again, it's very vague. It says Adventure Unfolds, and it's on January the 23rd. So that's not too far away. Today's the 13th. So January the 23rd is not next week, but it's the week after that. It's on a Tuesday. So, go ahead and mark your calendars, because Tuesday evening I will definitely be hosting an Epic Drone Show live, and we're going to talk about the live event that occurred that morning. And obviously you'll be able to go to epicdroneshow.com. If DJI does release a new drone as highly expected, then obviously you'll be able to find links there to order it. And, if it's multiple drones, you'll be able to find multiple drones there as well. So, but what I want to do within this show is just kind of talk about rumors. Bhindo says, do you think it implies to Mavic? Well, Adventure Unfolds there's several ways to interpret that. I mean, if we center our thought process around something unfolding, if you think about current drones, the only current DJI drone that unfolds is the Mavic Pro. But it could imply that Phantom 5 would have a new foldable design. It could also imply that maybe they're going to make a DJI Spark that folds. I mean, the Spark is already super tiny, but it didn't fold, so that's an option. I mean, that's a possibility. And then also, obviously a Mavic Pro 2, the Mavic Pro had a foldable design. The Mavic Pro 2, likely should as well. So, it's easy to speculate here, but, one thing is good. I mean, one thing is great, and that's that we all now have something to look forward to. We have a date, January the 23rd. We have a target date, and obviously, due to the lack of any sort of newness from DJI in 2017, this is well overdue. So hopefully we'll get something not just new, but something remarkable. And something from CES 2017 was a competitor. I wouldn't even call them a competitor because they really haven't released anything. Is Autel Robotics. They announced something at 2018 CES called the Evo. Kevin, welcome aboard, man. And it's touting the Evo from this company called Autel Robotics, is touting a 4K 60 camera. And to look at it, it looks like a Mavic Pro imposter from a design perspective. I don't think DJI would consider that to be a threat. I mean, if that drone actually hits the market, I don't think they will even touch DJI's level of sales. So I don't think DJI is worried about that. I think the only thing DJI was worried about was GoPro, and obviously GoPro failed epically with the GoPro Karma, unfortunately. But I think it's Green Hawk Drone Guy says, I hope it's not another disappointment on the 23rd. I think DJI has cried wolf enough recently with the it's a new drone, but in reality all it is pretty much a paint job. We got the Phantom 4 Pro Obsidian. We got the Mavic Pro Platinum, and then they even released a Mavic Pro around the holidays that was in white. And I mean, it's just, you know, they've got to release something significant, because if they don't, I mean, if January the 23rd is a tease and it's not something substantial, DJI is going to be in the world of hurt, in my opinion. So I fully expect something substantial to be released on the 23rd. So it's, you know, it leads us to question, what if this adventure unfolds? What if it's something adventure? You know, when you think about adventure, adventure doesn't have to be limited to the sky. You know, adventure can be land, sea, or sky. So what if DJI, what if they're not releasing a new drone? What if they come out with a, we'll say, a waterproof action camera? I mean, GoPro's fallen upon hard times. You know, GoPro went public, and ever since GoPro went public meaning that they're a publicly traded stock, ticker symbol GPRO, ever since they went public, it was like their release cycle was rushed. Their product offerings were kind of confusing. They didn't seem well thought out. And in my opinion, all of that was to appease the street, Wall Street. So pretty much, you know, investors' money got involved, and they were sitting there trying to work on their stock price, and they didn't really care. They couldn't really control their own company at that point, because they were having to listen to the investors. And by doing so, they were having to rush products. They were having to release things that may otherwise have not been released by GoPro. Because before GoPro went public, GoPro was always slow and controlled. When a new GoPro camera came out before GoPro went public, it was safe to assume that the GoPro camera was going to be quality. It was going to be better than the previous GoPro camera, and it would definitely justify upgrading. But after they went public, there was just a lot of stuff, and it was confusing. They were confusing product offerings. So this adventure unfolds, the theme of January 23rd DJI launch event. You know, adventure could imply land, sea, and air. So, you know, possibly the adventure word implies waterproof. Now, does that mean that we're going to have a waterproof action camera? What if we have a waterproof drone with a waterproof camera? How cool would that be? You know, let's take it to the next level. What if it was a waterproof drone with a waterproof camera that could also function as a submersible vehicle, a submarine? So what if you could land that new DJI drone on the water, but not just land it on the water, but then go below the water? I mean, think about that. Below the water, on the water, above the water, you know, land, sea, and air. I mean, that would be super cool. Greenock Drone Guy says, Phantom 5 changeable lens. Yeah, that, you know, it would make sense. That would make sense. And Salvate Metal says, I'm sure 5 will be announced with retractable landing gear and 360-degree obstacle avoidance. Well, you're right. Retractable landing gear unfolds. The landing gear would unfold. That's a great theory as well. What about a what if they release multiple drones? And what if what if they, you know, to your point, mentioning Greenock Drone Guy mentioning interchangeable lens camera on the Phantom 5, what if they take the Phantom series more upscale, but then what if they release something between the Mavic Pro and the Spark? Something kind of in the middle size-wise, but something that performs well from a video camera image quality and stability perspective. You know, maybe something with 4K 60. You know, maybe even something with a spherical 360-degree VR camera. I mean, it's easy for us to get together and speculate, you know, and look at DJI's past product offerings, but, you know, are they going to release a brand new product line, or are they just going to further refine what they've already got? And I think it's hard for anyone to argue that the DJI Phantom is the bread and butter of the DJI brand. But I think it's also hard for people to argue that if DJI released a Mavic Pro, an updated Mavic Pro, with a camera as good or better than the Phantom, and battery life as good or better than the Phantom, it would be hard for someone to consider the Phantom at that point because it's bigger. You know, it's heavier, it's bulkier. It's not as optimal to travel with as a Mavic Pro. So for that reason, I think we may see the Phantom line, the Phantom 5, become more upscale, and hopefully, but it probably will, result in a higher price tag. And then we may even see the Mavic Pro, you know, maybe the Mavic Pro 2 will kind of fill the space that the DJI Phantom previously filled, and then maybe they'll release something in between Spark and Mavic Pro that'll be the budget performance drone, and then the Spark is more of the toy type drone. I mean, not that it's a toy, they're dangerous, they could kill you if you're not safe, but you know, you see what I'm saying. Yeah, Jay Floyd Jr. says, as long as the price is low. What I'm afraid of, because there's no competition, is that DJI controls the price. And I mean, that's, you know, for them, that's a good opportunity. You know, you're the lone drone industry leader. You control the price, but for the customer, you know, it doesn't give us a lot of options, which is kind of bad. B Hendo says, I don't think they can release too much at once, or then their strong followers have to choose where to spend the dollars to buy both, or so forth. Like me. Well, that's true. You know, if you there's a lot of us, and I don't mean in a negative way, but DJI fanboys. You know, we're kind of like those Apple people that are Apple fanboys. You know, a new Apple device comes out, you feel like you're socially obligated to get that new device, even if you don't really need it. And the same is applicable for us drone aficionados. You know, when that new drone comes out, and especially when it's coming out from DJI, it's hard to say no, unless it's an Inspire, because that's too big and that's too heavy and it's too expensive. But the Maine Coon, Sean Cooner, the enormous Maine Coon cat. I'm pointing at him over there. He's in the studio in front of my live streaming computer, and he is asleep. He said, "Do not disturb." He said he will be attending an upcoming live show, but he said he's going to sleep this one out. Greenock says, will DJI team up with GoPro in the future? You know what? That's an interesting theory. And what's funny, GoPro, publicly traded company, GoPro is for sale now. How funny would it be if a company like DJI bought GoPro so that they can make themselves public? And I hope that doesn't happen, because I would hate to see a company like DJI being publicly traded, because, you know, DJI, despite some of the shortcomings they've had from a, you know, we've all encountered firmware update issues and minor troubleshooting challenges at a minimum with our DJI drones. But imagine if they were publicly traded. I think that would just really, I mean, going public wrecked GoPro, in my opinion. And, you know, I can't imagine a company like DJI, what going public would do to them. So, but, I mean, you know, they could, my thoughts are, if the right money acquires GoPro, if they have an interest in innovation, you know, thinking beyond the action camera, if they think about, you know, other ways that they can expand the business from an innovative perspective, I think drones would be there. I mean, the only thing, in my opinion, that would deter any sort of company that has the financial means, the cameras, and the technology to develop a flying platform for those cameras, the only thing that might deter a business from entering the drone game right now would be the fear of heightened regulations. Now, without a doubt, you know, we've seen, you know, drones came out. When drones came out, there were not a lot of regulations, and then the regulations started to come into play. And, you know, my fear is that some of these companies may be privy to information that us drone hobbyists are probably not privy to. And that's what's coming next from a regulatory perspective. You know, are we going to continue to be able to enjoy this awesome hobby? You know, this hobby that, you know, that we're still early adopters. I mean, sure, drones have been out for consumers, your average Joe and your average Jane consumer, for several years now. But I will still confidently say we're still in the infancy of drones. And that's primarily driven by the fact that there's only one big drone player out there, and that's DJI. So until we see a lot of companies get involved, there's not going to be a lot of rapid innovation and price wars. So, but I mean, I don't know. This is all about January the 23rd launch event. I mean, what do y'all think's coming? I mean, again, the invitation that I got, it says Adventure Unfolds, New York, January the 23rd, 2018, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's New York City time. So, Clam 5002 says, do you think DJI will make a drone that can fly more than 30 minutes? I think that's highly plausible. I mean, it's like any other technology. Battery technology has rapidly evolved. So, you know, to have a higher capacity battery, to have a more battery efficient motor on a drone, you know, to have a drone that's lighter weight. I mean, obviously not too lightweight because you don't want the wind to toss it around. But, you know, given the amount of time, I mean, DJI has had since November of 2016. I mean, that is a huge window. November of 2016, that's when they released the Phantom 4 Pro. So they've had plenty of time to research and find out how to improve the battery life, how to improve the camera. I mean, DJI acquired Hasselblad, one of the just ultra high-end camera manufacturers in the world. DJI bought them. So the fact that they bought one of the most outstanding camera manufacturers in the world seems to suggest that this next drone should have a very awesome camera on it. I mean, Sony makes some rock solid stuff. I mean, most of the Phantoms and to my knowledge, the Phantoms up until now, the more recent models, they were all Sony-based sensors. I mean, Sony makes a wicked good imaging sensor, but I mean, Hasselblad, that's a whole new ball game. Now, my fear is that if they do embrace Hasselblad technology too much, even though they bought Hasselblad, I hope that doesn't create a price premium, because we don't want that. I mean, we want these drones to be more affordable. Salivate Metal says, unfold being the operative word. I think there would be an even more portable, unfoldable drone announced. I'm with you on that. And I think that more portable drone would probably fall between the Mavic Pro and the Spark in size. You think about the Spark, it's so small. If they added foldability to it, I mean, that thing would be super tiny. B-Hendo says, I'm hoping for an improved Mavic despite not ever getting the first one. Looking forward to getting to, as it's a Phantom or Mavic of some kind. Yeah, B-Hendo says adventure might imply robust. You know, and speaking of that, what if the adventure component, what if DJI is going to release something that's kind of like the GoPro Karma but done correctly? So what if DJI releases a new drone that unfolds, you know, Adventure unfolds, but what if Adventure unfolds implies that it's more than just the adventure from the drone itself? You know, what if it's like a Karma type deal where you can take the gimbal and the camera off of the drone and use it handheld? You know, what if the camera and gimbal both are waterproof? How cool would that be? Because, you know, with the GoPro Karma, if you took the Karma grip and you attach it to a GoPro, it's not waterproof. So it kind of negates the fact of having a gimbal. What if you had a waterproof gimbal/camera assembly? that could also mount to a drone when it's not in use handheld. I mean, that'd be super cool. Jorge says, in the end, a new inspired lens. Hopefully no more inspired stuff. Jorge says, new Osmo that you can use off the drone, or on the drone. You know, that's highly plausible. You know, if they, not that GoPro provided any sort of threat when GoPro released the Karma drone, but the concept of the Karma drone was cool. You know, using that same camera, that same gimbal with the drone, or when you're not flying the drone, take it off the drone and use it. I think that's kind of cool. Yeah, Jorge, I think that's highly plausible. I mean, this is, you know, waiting this long it's been brutal. I mean, when you're addicted to drones, I mean, 2017 has been a long year. It's like, is it coming? Is it coming? The end of the year started rolling around. It's like, well, they got to announce it soon, you know, if they want to ship it in time for Christmas. And then it was blatantly obvious a few weeks later that, you know, that we were not going to see a new DJI drone in 2017. And then DJI was at CES 2018. And all they announced, which I think looks cool, is a one-handed Ronin. So you don't have to use the two-hand grip anymore. They've got a one-handed version, which looks really cool. And then, obviously, DJI also, at CES 2018, unveiled the new Osmo Mobile for your smartphone. But that's all they announced. So it's going to be, yeah. It's good they sent out this invite for Adventure Unfolds. Jorge says, what do you expect, 1 or 2 drones? And B. Hendo says, 1 drone, then another drone over the summer. I think that would make sense. I think this drone would be, if DJI is going to release something brand new, you know, not a Phantom 5, not a Mavic Pro 2, but a brand new drone model, I think this would be when they would release that. But to B. Hendo's point, if they're going to release a follow-up model to the Phantom 5 or the Mavic Pro, if they're going to release the Phantom 5 with the Mavic Pro 2, that would make sense. That would be in the summer, provided that they're releasing a brand new drone in January. But if they don't release a brand new drone in January, you know, my bet is it's probably going to be a Phantom. Even though they just released, not just released, but November 2016, they released the Phantom 4 Pro. But that was more of a camera refresh versus a brand new drone, in my opinion. So I think they really owe us a Phantom 5. Burkle says, greetings. I googled January 23rd DJI event today, and a couple sites said it would be a Mavic Air, a cross between Mavic and Spark. And, you know, that would make sense. And from a design perspective, you know, what was DJI doing when they released Mavic Pro? And what was DJI doing when they released Spark? You know, DJI already had the bread and butter, the best drone on the market, the DJI Phantom. But even though they had, and they still have the best drone on the market, the DJI Phantom, it's still a little bit big, and it's still a little bit heavy. You know, it's not optimal to travel with. Mavic Pro was extremely portable, but Mavic Pro, unfortunately, didn't have the image quality and the video stability of the Phantom 4 or the Phantom 3 Pro. So, you know, it was good, but it wasn't quite there. And also, you had that annoying tap-to-focus requirement. So, then they released Spark because they wanted to see the market's reaction to a super small, super lightweight drone. From a battery life perspective, the Spark is too limited. From a camera performance perspective, the Spark is too limited. From a fun factor perspective, the Spark is fun. But since the market seemed to react well to both the Spark and the Mavic Pro, despite the fact that everyone loves the Phantom, that provided DJI with the evidence that they needed, in my opinion, to say, you know what, we need something in between. You know, the Spark's feature set was too limited. And the Mavic Pro was really good, but do we really want to make it better? Or do we want to do something in the middle? So for that reason, Burkle, I think that I think you may be onto something. A cross between the Spark and a cross between the Spark and the Mavic Pro. It would seem to make sense. And and again, maybe adding that detachable action camera component to it to make it even better, to add to the adventure. B. Hendo says, I don't think it will be a new drone. I think it will be too much of a letdown if it's not a Phantom 5 or Mavic Pro 2. And that's a good point. They're way overdue for a new Phantom and for a new Mavic Pro. And B. Hendo says, I wonder if a Mavic Air would be a budget Mavic, or how it would bridge the line between quality of the Mavic versus the casual use of Spark. Well, I would think at a minimum, if they did indeed release something called Mavic Air and it fell between Mavic Pro and Spark, I think at a minimum we'd have to have 4K, because not having 4K was a huge deal breaker for me with the Spark. Also, a deal breaker for me with the Spark is that we didn't have the 3-axis gimbal on the Spark. So if they're putting something in the middle, I would think it's going to have a 3-axis gimbal. And the battery life, obviously, the battery life would need to be as good or better than the Mavic Pro, because otherwise I think they're going to, I think they're going to create problems. And it wouldn't be unrealistic to believe that if they do release something in the middle, that they would just discontinue the Mavic Pro and have a new lineup, have the Spark kind of been the fun and ultra portable drone, and then this new drone between Mavic and Spark being the premium but ultra portable experience, and then bumping up the Phantom line to be a very high end, best in class video and battery life. I don't know. Because, unless you've got a huge video production budget and you don't mind carrying around huge and heavy boxes, I think it would be hard for anyone to consider the Inspire. It's too big, it's too heavy. But I think, this trio of drones, the Phantom, the Mavic, the Spark, or the Phantom and the Mavic Air and the Spark, I think that trilogy would kind of be the holy trinity of sorts for drones. So that's an interesting perspective there. B. Hendo says, I'm searching that now. Yeah, so one thing's good though. We got something coming. And how disappointing would it have been if we had waited throughout January and heard nothing? Because they didn't announce anything drone related at CES. Burkle says, I wonder if the new Autel drone pressured them to this release date, because once the Karma drone was released, DJI released the Mavic. Well, my thoughts are, and I definitely think that DJI, or GoPro rather, announcing the Karma caused DJI to rush announce the Mavic Pro. And that's why I was in such short supply when people started ordering it. But I don't necessarily think DJI cares about Autel. But due to DJI's extended period of silence, they haven't given us a new Phantom or Mavic Pro since November of 2016. I think it would be ignorant from a business perspective for DJI not to reveal something. And the fact that that Autel revealed a drone, which I don't know if that drone will ever hit market. What Autel revealed at CES 2017 last year, that drone looked cool, but to my knowledge, it was never released. So is Autel going to release the Evo that they're touting at this year's 2018 CES? Who knows? But, to your point, DJI would seem to have to acknowledge that, because if they didn't, and Autel actually delivers a drone that's about the size of the Mavic Pro but has a 4K 60 camera, that could cannibalize sales of Mavic Pro, and it could also cause a lot of customers to take the leap from DJI to a competitor a competing drone brand. And I don't think DJI would want that, because if people jump ship and went to this Autel brand, you know, and they did it simply because DJI didn't have something as new, you know, that could really hurt DJI. So I do think, you know, from that perspective, I think that it may have, I don't think DJI would consider them to be a threat. I don't think DJI would has considered anyone to be a threat except GoPro, and obviously GoPro failed. But I think before GoPro opened the floodgates and started selling the Karma, I think DJI was a little bit nervous just because of GoPro's huge fan base, GoPro's great customer service reputation, and GoPro's longevity as an action camera company. So it's and there were a lot of existing GoPro users out there that had a GoPro camera, and they would spend the money to buy that flying mount, that GoPro drone. So yeah, it's it's interesting. But I think I think we're going to see the real deal this time. I don't think we're going to see a paint job. I don't think we're going to see, ooh, the propellers are quieter, man. Or, oh, you may get another minute or two of battery life. Whoa, dude, watch out. You know, I think it's going to be a little bit more meaty than that. And I think it's going to be, I'll agree with several of y'all. I think the theory of it being an in-between drone size-wise between Spark and Mavic Pro, I think that's highly plausible. Burkle says, just ordered my Mavic Platinum. Might wait until after the 23rd to unbox just to be safe. Man, that's a heck of a time to order something with this coming on the 23rd. And by the way, anyone out there that's looking for drones, just go to IrixGuy.com or EpicDroneShow.com and go to store, and you can find all of the drones and all of the accessories. So it's that helps me a lot. Again, I'm an independent channel, so anything you can do to subscribe, like, share. And always check out my website for links to drones and drone accessories. If you don't see it there, shoot me a message on social media, and I'll be happy to share a link, because that that helps me out. I'm an independent channel, so this is the studio. I think may be looking better, the lighting may be looking better, but I couldn't do all of this without your subscriptions, your likes, your shares, and you going to my website and supporting me by anytime you need drone stuff, camera stuff, cat food, whatever, going to my website and checking out the links there, and getting this stuff, because it helps a lot. So sorry, I had to plug that because a lot of y'all may not be aware. But yeah, January 23rd, that's not too far away, because it's 13th of January right now, and so that means, as fellow drone addicts, today is Saturday, so that means we got to make it through next Saturday, which is Saturday the 20th, and then we got to make it through Sunday, Monday, and then start counting the hours on after a restless night's sleep on Monday night, start counting the hours Tuesday morning for that live event. And again, like I said, I will be back in studio the evening of January 23rd. So I'll be hosting an Epic Drone Show live where we can talk about what was released. Obviously, you'll be able to go to my website, find all the drones and or drone accessories that are released on January 23rd. You'll be able to find them all there. But yeah, just kind of an afterthought show. And obviously, if it's not a turd, I will be ordering it ASAP. So, the unboxing, the field test, the review, hopefully not too many troubleshooting videos, but inevitably with new tech, there's going to be something that breaks or something that needs to be better refined. So, I'll feature it all here and on my website at EpicDroneShow.com. Kevin says, great show, my friend. Take care. Thanks as always, Kevin, for tuning in, man. Jorge says, are you ready to change for the Phantom, for a small like Mavic? Well, here's the thing. I would have completely embraced the Mavic Pro. The Spark, too small for me, and there was no 4K. And the battery life was too limited. So I would have embraced the Mavic Pro in favor of Phantom, but I can get better video quality and better video stability with the Phantom 3 Pro, the Phantom 4 Pro, or the Phantom, or just the Phantom 4. So, you know, for that reason, the bread and butter for me right now, at this point in time, January the 13th of 2018, my favorite drone right now is the Phantom 4. I don't have tap to focus requirement. You look at the intro for Epic Drone Show Live. You know, when you replay this video on my website, epicdroneshow.com, the intro and the outro clips, I filmed both of those with my Phantom 4. 4K 30 auto mode, didn't have to tap to focus. I think it looks slick. I mean, it was easy up, you know, get up in the air, film, I hit record, I got the video I wanted. You know, the horizon was not crooked. You know, that's a problem we've encountered intermittently with some of the drones. But it was consistently excellent. Now, can it be better? Yes. You know, give me a 1-inch sensor. You know, give me 4K 60. Give me that without a tap to focus requirement. And I think, I mean, I may just fall over and chuckle because I'll feel so good about it. So, I mean, with that being the case, you know, I remain bullishly optimistic that on January 23rd that I'll get something from DJI that's got a 1-inch sensor, 4K 60, and will be the size of Mavic Pro, if not smaller, but still sport as good a battery life. And if that comes out, for me, bye-bye Phantom. You know, I won't have the need. You know, why carry something bigger? Why carry something heavier when I can get as good or better performance in a smaller, more lightweight form factor? But yeah, I think, yeah, I would have already jumped ship to Mavic Pro if the camera image quality and stability was as good or better than the Phantom 4. And, you know, it didn't have that tap to focus requirement. So that's the only reason I didn't fully embrace the Mavic Pro. Version 1 of the Mavic Pro. And that includes Mavic Pro Platinum as well, which, you know, that was a minor refresh with quieter propellers and a paint job. So yeah, we're not far away. I mean, we've you know, as we've conversed during this live show, we're already about 39 minutes closer to the unveiling of this new drone or drones. You know, who's to say it's one drone? Now, if it's not a drone at all, it's something different, I'm going to be very disappointed. So, yeah, I mean, what do y'all think? Anything? What else do y'all think might be brewing as the product of this January 23rd launch event? It's going to be here before we know it. It is going to be here before we know it. And so I think what I'm going to do, we got a ton of people tuned in here and appreciated all y'all's feedback. And I mean, I'm beyond stoked. So if I learn any more before the 23rd, or if you learn any more before the 23rd, you know, hit me up on all my social media. Share with me what you've learned. And if I learn more, I'll put up another live show. But for sure, I will be hosting a live show on the evening of January 23rd where we will talk about everything that was announced the morning of January 23rd. And again, check out epicdroneshow.com, IrixGuy.com. You can go there, go to store. You can find all of the drones and accessories. And as soon as these new drones hit the market, they'll be there. But the thing that excites me the most is just the thought of getting this new drone out and taking it out in the field and field testing. I mean, that's, to me, that's the most exciting aspect of a new drone. And I've done that Phantom 1 through present. So, it's going to be fun to carry on that tradition with whatever releases next. So, that being said, it's about 8:03 p.m. New York City time. Got to get out and Dark Horse, welcome aboard, dude. Welcome aboard, man. You got in here. I know I didn't have a heads up that this was going to occur. I just went live, like I do with most of my live shows. But yeah, we're just kind of wrapping it up. But you ought to check out, man. This is going to be on epicdroneshow.com. This previously recorded live show, so you can check it out there, and and see everything or hear everything that everybody talked about and that sort of thing. So now, if you'd like to be a guest on an upcoming live show, feel free to shoot me a message. Facebook.com/IrixGuy. I've got a new studio live streaming setup that enables me to incorporate live guests, face zone videos, so that'd be kind of cool. Several of us sit on here and talk about drones and interact with the audience. So, if you're interested in that, obviously no pressure, but if you are interested, shoot me a message and I'll see if I can see if I might be able to work you into an upcoming live show. So that being said, yeah, we're about 8:04 p.m. New York City time, and check out, by the way, when you see this outro that's about to pop up, just remember, as I mentioned, that was one that I filmed with my Phantom 4, and that's why at the time of filming this live show, the Phantom 4 is still my favorite drone. So if I can get that quality or better in something smaller and more lightweight with as good or better battery life and obviously acceptable range, I fly line of sight to be safe and responsible. But if I can get that when they unveil this new drone on January 23rd, I'm going to be beyond ecstatic, and we're just going to have so much fun in the field and so much fun with live shows, and we're just going to obsess over this stuff. So it's going to be a lot of fun, and appreciate y'all tuning in here, and it's going to be a fun month. I had my doubts, but now it's certain it's going to be a fun month. Now, will it ship immediately? I don't know. I hope so. But if it doesn't, at least there'll be something fun to look forward to. So with that being said, thanks for watching, and y'all have a good day. Hey y'all, IrixGuy here. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to subscribe, like, and share. It's viewers like you that enable my channel to continue to grow. Thank you.